Hello, and welcome to something a little different. I mentioned when we got to Gaspar during the Ratchet and Clank playthrough that I was very into the idea of doing a tier list of specifically the planets, but I figured if we're going to be making tier lists, why not, indulge a little bit. So, now that we've beaten Ratchet and Clank 1, we've had our opportunity to play around with all of the fun little toys and go and explore all of the fun little environments. I did, in fact, want to make a tier list, but instead of doing what I think I talked about and doing a big one at the end of the whole series, I grew quite fond of the idea of making a little tier list at the end of each game and seeing how we feel about them within the vacuum of that one game. Specifically, because for the likes of the Devastator or even like the Bomb Glove, right? There's kind of an archetypical like this thing shoots missiles or this thing throws bombs. And I feel like if we start comparing weapons when we have things like the Devastator next to things like the Silencer from Deadlocked, it's gonna get a little silly, right? So, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do it game by game. We're gonna come back to this list at the end of each game, and we're gonna add the new arsenal and the new lineup into it. And we'll just see how it looks by the end of it. Obviously, this is not an objective best weapons tier list. You should know by now. We stay silly here. We don't stay optimal. So, a lot of this is just vibes. We're here to have a good time. We're not here to analyze too much. But that's enough yapping. That's just the preface for what we're doing here. Let's start off with the weapons, just because I don't know, I think that sounds more fun. And we're gonna just go in sort of chronological order of the way that they're presented to us in the game, more or less. I mean, obviously, you can get the Rhino as early as Rilgar if you want to. You could get the Rhino before you get the Mind Glove, but you would be insane. So, for starters, Bomb Glove, the OG, the absolute like herald of the early game. Honestly, I love it. I love this thing. And not only am I fond of it in the sense of like, even when you're a podunk little backwater planet hillbilly, this is what you have available to you is a handheld device that throws grenades. But it's also just good. Also, it saves me the effort of blowing up huge stacks of crates, and I do love that a great deal. It's at least a B ranking. I would go so far as to say it's an A rank. I would go so far as to say that it is extremely handy at what it does, and it's convenient for a variety of reasons. You have a ton of bombs too. It's great. It's just great. I did separate gold weapons out into their own things, mostly because, like, there are some instances where the base form of a weapon is like, okay, but then the gold one is really good. And then how would you average out the rating if they were combined into one conglomerate form? So, gold bomb glove, though. That's one of those examples where I feel like the gold version doesn't really do all that much special. It's just the bomb glove, but bigger and green. And that's cool. But I don't think it's like outstanding upper echelon cool. It's just nice. Pyrocitor, moving swiftly along. Exceptionally good at what it does. You know the dopamine that you get from standing in a crowd of small enemies and spinning in a circle and holding the circle button? Really, it's second to none. Choice construction, this one. However, is it S tier? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I feel like an S tier weapon is something truly exceptional. It's something that, like, really makes you feel something. Or is just objectively insane and absurd. And I don't feel like the Pyrocitor is either of those things. I also do feel like the Pyrocitor is limited to more of a niche. So I am leaning towards B rank for this one. It's got a shorter range. It's excellent at what it does, but what it does is one specific thing, and that's just be like a lawnmower, you know? I think we're gonna leave that comfortably in the B rank. Gold Pyrocitor, however, does address one of the aforementioned problems, the range. It's got huge flame, big, and green. Let's not forget that it's green. So much longer range. It feels really good. And it's also just kind of generally, like, imposing to wield. Just spinning, like, spewing these huge gouts of green fire. Kinda love that. I do think the Gold Pyrocitor gets a little bit of an edge over its not so shiny brother. So, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable bumping it up one. Blaster, do I have to say anything? Honest to goodness, it's the workhorse. It does anything that you want it to do. It may not do some things particularly well compared to, you know, can it clear a crowd like the Pyrocitor or the Tesla Claw? No. Can it dish out as much damage as the Devastator or the Visibomb gun? No. But it can do everything a little bit, and it deserves recognition for that. Gold Blaster, I mentioned it when we were playing the game. I'm gonna say it again right now. Probably my favorite gold weapon in the game. Again, it does everything that the blaster does, which is everything, and it does it with ricocheting bullets. And it's spectacular. It's not necessarily the most mechanical improvement over the weapon that it could be, but when you're holding down the trigger and there's just bullets flying all over the place, it feels fantastic. And it's just it's so fun. It's so fun. And that's what we're here for. Glove of Doom. I don't know if this is a hot take. It might be. I don't know how we feel about the Glove of Doom in the first game, honestly. You know, that's a really funny thing, actually. For as much as I love these games, I don't really exist within the fandom as much as I do exist in my own little bubble of like, oh my god, this is my favorite thing ever. So, I'm not sure of the consensus on the Glove of Doom. I love the Glove of Doom as a concept. I love the Glove of Doom moving forward in the series. This Glove of Doom? Kind of mid. Kind of not very good, actually, I would go so far as to say. Ammo's expensive, and it's kind of like, I don't know why. I never feel inclined to use it over almost anything else. I feel like I'm being really mean to the Glove of Doom by putting it in D tier, but that is just what my heart is saying to me. So I pat your head gently. I'm sorry, little buddy. The Gold Glove of Doom. It's the Glove of Doom again, but they're big and they explode green. So I'm willing to bump it up a tier because of the, you know, it's big and it booms bigger, right? But it is still, it's still just kind of mid. I'm also honestly, the only reason the Glove of Doom is not an F, now that I'm thinking about it, is the fact that I love the agents so much, and I love the way that they, like, cackle at you. The OG Suck Cannon. You know, that's a hard one, actually. I looked at that, and then I thought I had a thought, and then I looked at it again, and then The original Suck Cannon is not particularly great, like statistically. It's not the greatest weapon. It's not really even the most satisfying weapon. But it does something incredibly unique, and that's awesome. We love uniqueness here. At least I do. And in a game where the ammunition economy, or like the economy is so brutal and ammunition is so scarce, within the context, a weapon that has theoretical priceless ammunition is really cool. I think that consideration alone does make me inclined to put it into a B tier placement. And I think I feel pretty comfortable about that. The gold suck cannon does take a lot of the original suck cannon's like problems and expand upon them in a positive way. The increased ammo capacity is incredible, honestly. I think the quality of life improvement just from being able to hold 10 things in the suck cannon alone is fantastic. Actually, is so fantastic that I'm reconsidering, because I don't think that the gold suck cannon is necessarily an A-class weapon. I look at the gold suck cannon and I don't feel like I place it in the same spot in my mind as I do the gold pyrocitor and the blaster. So I think I'm going to bump the original suck cannon down, and I think we're going to put the gold suck cannon in B, because it's definitely in a league of its own compared to the non-gold version. I don't think it's an A-class weapon. It's fun, it's good, but it's not like, you know. The Taunter. I honestly was debating even putting it here, because it's really not. Like it's in the weapons, and that's why it's here, because it's in your weapon screen. That being said, it really doesn't do much, does it? The only reason that this escapes F tier is because it's funny and it's unique and it's clever. It makes funny noises, and I'm amused by that. And the concept of a weapon that just annoys the enemy and makes them like charge at you is very silly. Plus, there's like a couple of skill points and things that you can get with it, and I like fun little novel applications for things. I think that's enough reason to put it into D. I'm not gonna put it into C. I'm not gonna disrespect the Glove of Doom like that, right? But it's earned a D tier placement, at least. The Mind Glove, I don't know the community consensus on this. In my heart of hearts, it feels like an underrated piece of equipment. The ammunition is so cheap. You get to hold 50 mines. That's so many. And they're like strong too. They do a pretty hefty amount of damage, and they look awesome. Like the whole energy of the weapon is so cool. I am just like, I'm Mind Glove #1 fangirl. If there is one fan of the Mind Glove alive on the planet, it's me. And if there's no Mind Glove fans anymore, then I'm not here. I'm not around anymore. That's just the way it is. I don't think I'm so biased that I can't look at myself and lie and say that it's an S tier weapon to me. But I do think that both it and the gold Mind Glove, because similarly to the Bomb Glove, the gold one just makes them big and green. I do think that it occupies basically an identical place to the Bomb Glove, with like a tiny bit extra coolness and obviously the extra ammunition capacity. Devastator. That's my pride and joy. That's my baby right there. One of my two babies. One of my many children. I I love the Devastator. I'm sure everyone loves the Devastator. Getting the Devastator, like, honestly, I don't think that there's a single better milestone weapon in Ratchet and Clank than the Devastator. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's a particularly great explanation of it, but I feel like when you get to Battaglia, when you get the Devastator, you're like, I'm officially a problem for my enemies now. You have so much range and damage available to you now that it's in your hands that it's beautiful. It's an easy A tier. It's an almost an S tier, possibly, maybe. The more I think about it, the more I'm considering whether or not it might just be. Oh, I'm looking long and hard at that, actually. I think I'm going to leave it in the A tier, but the Gold Devastator we're immediately, instantly throwing that into the S tier. Don't even talk to me. Like, are you kidding me? It's so cool. It's so cool. I harped about it a bunch in the video, but like, when you allow me to collect myself. There's a lot of rocket-based weaponry in the series, and there's a lot of rocket-based weaponry that explodes into sub-munitions in the series. But I don't think that there's any other rocket-based weaponry in this series that just ricochets and pinballs around. And that's honestly cooler than sub-munitions. The fact that it like hits something and then just goes like, yeah, I'm going over here now. It's chaotic. It's markedly less effective than the sub-munitions, probably, I would say. But it's so cool. It's so cool. And the explosions are big and green, again. S tier, easy. No contest. Not even a second thought in my mind. The Walloper, now that's something. We talked about the ammo economy when we were discussing the suck cannon. And the Walloper is just, it's kind of everything that the suck cannon yearns to be, in the way of like rectifying the need for ammunition. Obviously, it's not ranged, and so if anything is flying or outside of your reach, then you can't do anything about it. But it's just like, it does so much damage, and you can use it forever. It's just like, it's fantastic. It really kind of renders the Omni Wrench like obsolete once you get it, because it's just sort of, why wouldn't you wail on them with your giant techno fist, right? Also, it breaks metal crates. That's awesome. The bomb glove no longer needs to get delegated to blow up metal crates because you can just punch them instead. It's very high on the list. I'm almost tempted to put it in S tier just because of how much I love having something that I can like rip through enemies without spending ammunition. But I don't think I'm going to put it there. I think I'm going to leave it in A tier. Now the Visibomb gun. That's my baby. I said the Devastator was my baby. That's my baby. I lied. If you have been watching the series, you know that this is probably my favorite weapon in the whole entire series. Because it's just so unique. It's so fascinating to me to have like just a handheld like predator missile device. It's so cool. It does so much damage. It like one-shots almost anything. It's got this big old blast radius, and it's such a novel concept. And I have so many fond memories of it. They, like, pre-release, as far as I'm aware, as far as I've, read, they had to redesign the level geometry and, like, layout while they were, crafting this game, specifically to accommodate the Visibomb. because it offered you a means to fly outside of like the walkable platforming areas. And so like that's why I understand why we haven't seen anything like it again, because obviously that's hard. That's annoying to have this like free roam camera that you can fly around wherever. It's a nuisance as a game developer, but I love it so much. Is it as like practically functional as the Devastator, even the Gold Pyrometer? No, absolutely not. It's definitely not something that you use in every situation. It has a specialty, and that's where it does its thing, and it does it really well. I love it so much. Nothing will ever stop me from adoring it. So it lives in S tier because again, we're vibing. We're having a good time. It's not objectively the best weapon. It's my heart, mi corazón. Decoy glove. I don't think that there's a bigger shift in enthusiasm. Like there's, if I had like a meter on screen displaying how hype I was about something, there's not a further discrepancy between two weapons in the game. I'm trying really hard not to be mean. Is it an F? I don't think, okay. I don't think it's an F tier weapon, is it? Is it? It might be. It's an F tier weapon. I just don't like it. I see basically no purpose to, I don't think we threw a single normal decoy over the course of the playthrough other than to be like, look, it's Ratchet. Isn't that funny? It's a quirky little thing. It's a cute little thing. I just really don't like it. And gold decoy glove, I'll give that a D tier. It blows up, and the art on it is funny. I like that they changed it entirely to like an evil, menacing Ratchet. That's fun. So that's where they will lie. Drone device. Part of me is inclined to say, like, who honestly cares? I feel like this is another one that I could go the whole playthrough without even, like, purchasing from the vendor. I mean, we did. We didn't, like, in the playthrough that I just did. I didn't get it until challenge mode because, like, but the only reason that they're not going in F tier, that they're kind of cute. And they make little noises when they attack something. And I like that. I'm fond of them. The Tesla Claw. The Tesla Claw. So we all know that this is either an A tier or an S tier. Obviously. We do. Because the thing with the Tesla Claw, I genuinely feel like the Tesla Claw outright replaces a majority of your arsenal as far as just like usability. Like outside of exceptionally tightly packed groups, you kind of have no reason to use the Pyrometer and like this, you know, the spin strategy. It has enough range to compete with the blaster. And it's auto-targeting, and it does a sizable amount of damage. It really is, like, it's the jack of all trades, but better. It's what the blaster was, but, like, slightly better than it in most ways, and slightly worse than it in some ways. I do genuinely think even the base Tesla Claw is an S-rank weapon, in my opinion, because it's also it's sick. Also, it's incredibly cool. Look at it. It looks so rad. It looks so cool. And it shoots lightning. So I do think that lands safely at S tier as well. And do we need to have a conversation about this? It's everything that the Tesla Claw does, but it's even better. It's got longer range. It arcs. And it's green. So obviously I considered, before I sat down to record this, I actively considered, do I make a tier above S because of the gold Tesla claw? And I didn't. We're keeping it uniform to a degree, at least for now. Morpho Ray, like, again, the economy in the first Ratchet and Clank does put a lot more, like, it puts a lot of, it gives weapons that don't use ammunition a real bump in their quality. Like, it's not very good, but the fact that it has infinite ammunition effectively makes it way better, because using ammo is bad in this game. And I think that puts it pretty safely at C. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it's going to wind up in exactly the same circumstance as the subcannon, because the base version is just kind of mid. It's like, eh. And the gold version is less mid. It's just like, it's pretty good. Also, chickens are funny. The giant chickens are hilarious. Another big thing that like, I would be tempted to put the gold one in A rank, actually. But one of the biggest things that holds it back for me is just thinking about how it's very clunky. The beam does such a poor job of hitting things sometimes that it's just kind of unpleasant. So I think B rank is fine. I think that's fair. And the Rhino, I mean, it's the Rhino, right? It's the Rhino. It's the thing that you get at the end of the game, and on your second or third playthrough of the game, honestly, if we're being totally real. You pull the trigger, and then everything in front of you stops being in front of you. You're like, I've got a problem over there. And the Rhino's like, I understand you. I will remove over there. And that's awesome. It costs like a billion gajillion bolts, and you'll probably, you know, need to take out like a third mortgage for it. But like, it's so cool. So I don't think that there's ever any doubt where the Rhino was gonna wind up. But that's that for the weapons. that's the weapons of the first Ratchet and Clank. I think looking over it right now, I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable with where everything has landed. I'm actually, I have to be totally honest with you, I'm kind of surprised by how not evenly like, it's a very top heavy list, because I do like most of the weapons in this game. But there are more things in the lower tiers than I expected there to be. Like, I honestly, thinking about future games, there are some games where I'm totally, like, I would be surprised if anything wound up in the D tier, or like, let alone the F tier. So I'm kind of fascinated to see how this is panned out. I think that's neat. Anyway, moving on to the planets. I do have two Veldens here, because I wasn't sure how I wanted to do that, but I am going to separate them into, like, separate experiences. This is less, like, planets, I suppose, and more, like, levels. But let's just get right into it. There's no, you know, no sense procrastinating. Similarly to the weapons, this isn't going to be like, I mean, how could you objectively grade these? I guess you could by looking at, like, objectively positive level design and layout and everything, but that's not what we're doing here. This so starting with Velden, that's where it all begins, right? The music's music is another huge consideration. Like, the music is absolutely going to play into the opinion of most of these. Velden's music, iconic, really good. I will God, editor me is gonna have a field day with this, because I'm gonna try and make sure that we get a little snippet of the track that plays on a planet, so that way we can sort of appreciate what's going on there. Actually, you know what? While we're discussing a planet, I'll just have the soundtrack for it be playing in the background. How about that? How about that one? Anyway, Veldin. It's lovely. It's great there. It's just, you know, it's the starting point. There's so much nostalgia when you boot into Veldin and you hear the soundtrack kick in and you see the toads hopping around and you hit one and they make that noise. You hit Clank. It's good. We're all having a good time. Yeah, I'm like, I almost immediately shot it up to S tier. Is it an S tier? Possibly. I'm gonna leave it there, and I will think about it. Novalis, similar reasoning as logic, or similar logic for what I mentioned with Veldin, as like, it's kind of the first like true planet, and when you get there, it just feels good to be like, oh, here we go. Also, it's really pretty. It's like actually a really, really pretty place. When you go up into the place where the plumber's at and they give you the tutorial for how to use free look and you get to like look over onto like the environment, it's a really lovely place. There's a lot of branching paths and it's kind of like an awesome introductory thing. Like you get the one where you go swim and then you get your little platforming section up to the plumber and then you get the little combat section down to the infobot with the mayor. It's got a little bit of everything and it's really pretty and it's super awesome. And I think that also is plenty of reason to put it in the A tier. Metropolis. An icon. Possibly the icon. I don't think that you could tell me a single other planet in Ratchet and Clank that is more prominent than Kerwan, than Metropolis. Like, that's the one. That is it. The music is fantastic, and it's a motif that's so long running. We hear it so many times again, and it's a banger too. And the level itself is great. You get the helipack. That's also something that I'm kind of considering, is like, where does the progression take us surrounding these planets? The little obstacle course, great fun, really good actually. That's our first S tier, definitely. I have like no apprehension about that even. That's the one. That's it. Iridia is an interesting one, actually. I like Iridia. I think it's neat. It's cool, especially after Veldin, Novalis, Kerwan, because it's dark. It's a totally different energy. The music even is a lot, I don't know if darker is the word, but the music carries a different energy as well. You do have your branching paths. You get the little swing shot course. That's fun. Going through the construction area to get to the agent, and then also the sand shark area is a ton of fun. I don't know that I like it quite as much as what we've talked about thus far. I'm never quite as pumped to go to Iridia as I am to Veldin or Novalis. It's okay. Like, not okay. Okay is actually putting it very lightly. I do like it. I just don't like it that much. I like it a B tier amount. I like it pretty good, but not that good. Eudora is a weird one. It's kind of a middle planet that I almost like forget about sometimes. The music there is fantastic. The music there is so fun. I especially love the music in the little side path that you have to take to, I think it's Is it the one leading to the suck cannon? No, I think it might be the one leading to the like general to get the info bot. But whatever the path is that you take over the platforms and the swing shot targets, it's so like jaunty and upbeat and fun. But I just kind of like, you go there and then you're gone. And it also, I think, one of the reasons that it feels that way too is that it has no like backtracking tied to it. Like, you go back to Nivalis with the Hydro Pack to get that gold bolt that you couldn't get. You go back to Iridia with the Magna Boots to get that gold bolt that you couldn't get. And you also go back with the Zoomerator for the Sonic Summoner. You go back to you go back to a lot of planets for a lot of different reasons, but with Eudora, you're really just passing through. And I do think that kind of makes me less fond of it. I don't know if it makes me a C tier level of less fond of it. I do think it makes me, I think it lands similarly to Iridia. I think so. I like it a lot when I'm there. Actually, that's an interesting thing to consider. I think I like Eudora more while I'm there than I like Iridia. But it's just, it feels so fleeting. Blark Station, certified banger. Bop Central, really good. It's also aesthetically one of like my favorite. I love all of these like space station levels actually. It's aesthetically really cool. That intro screen, like every planet has like a first view when you drop onto it. As soon as you exit the ship, once the animation is done playing, you get boom, the music starts and you're looking away. Nebula G34s is really, really good. Really, really good. It's got your first boss fight. It's got that really funny, like, press the big red shiny button and then extract from the exploding cruiser, right? That's also very unique and fun. I think Nebula is also, that's flying up into A tier. I'm sensing a pattern. I feel like this is gonna be a way more top-weighted tier list than the weapons was, even. But we'll see. We'll see. Rilgar, you know, that doesn't really like, I've never really thought about how much I am kind of like, Rilgar is just kind of okay in when I think about it. I do like, I mean, the hoverboard race is cool. I do enjoy that. But I don't know, it feels like a very centralized planet. It feels like one that you go back to frequently, although that might just be because like the rhino's there and it always sort of like, you have this like anchor in your mind around it, right? But I really am, when I'm thinking about it, I'm really finding myself not like, I think this might be another B tier. It doesn't stand out to me as something that I adore, but it is something that I like. And also the music, the Rilgar music is incredibly fun. It's so punchy and like dramatic and cool. And I don't know if industrial is the right word, but it's really good. So yeah, it's another B tier, folks. It's another B tier. I promise they can't all be good, right? There's gonna, I know that later in the game series, later on, there will be worse planets. I do know that in future games, there's planets that I'm just straight up like, I don't like being here. But the first game, I kind of like them all, actually. To an extent, I think. However, to an extent, does a lot of heavy lifting when we talk about Umbris. Vibes-wise, immaculate. It's really, really fun. The like gritty sort of obstacle course vibe that you have going through. Also the Snagglebeast boss fight. It's fun. We love our boss fights. And when I'm thinking about it in the context of the story, it's a very big like pivot point, and I do like that too. I just don't like being there. Does that make sense? I like everything about the planet that's not being on the planet. I don't think I dislike it enough to put it down to C, but I do think I do think that's another B from me, folks. Battaglia is an interesting one. It kind of gets split up in two halves almost, because you go up to the city and then you leave and come back with the Magna boots, and I guess it's not even two halves. It's I don't know. It feels very oh, I really can't find the word for it. Whatever the word is that I'm looking for, it feels like that. And I know that's helpful. That's a remarkably helpful way to communicate an idea. But I'm not crazy for Battaglia. I could raise the point that you get the Devastator on Battaglia, and like clearly it's an S tier, but I don't want to think about it that way too much, right? Because otherwise our weapons tier list and our planet tier list would be like fairly thoroughly entwined. But I do think that it's got a fun energy about it with the whole like it's like war torn. It feels very like there's a battle going on, and especially the music feels like this like commanding march, and it's got that like bum bum ba-da-da-dum bum. It's got vibes down super well. I don't think it's got them A tier well, but I think it's got it well enough that I'm like, yeah, that's a good play. That's a good one. Gaspar is the Gaspar is the planet that made me want to make a tier list in the first place, because I got to Gaspar and I'm like, this place rocks. It's so cool. The music is fantastic. The aesthetic is fantastic. The energy is fantastic. I like the turrets. The whole like blow the doors down with the turrets stuff. It reminds me a lot of like Spyro with those little in-level mechanics. Jumping into that volcano for the one, I think it's just for a gold bolt, is super cool. That's a very, very unique like secret path. And then there's like the whole extra other thing with the refueling dropships. It's just a really awesome place to be, and it feels super cool. There's the maps in the one back room. They're maps of Battaglia, which is like sort of ties into like the Blarg invasion of Battaglia, which is the ships that are refueling on Gaspar. It's all just awesome. It feels cool to be there. It's pretty. The music is awesome. I like it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite planets over the course of the series, and I do adore it. Orxon. We all love Orxon, don't we? We're fans of Orxon here, aren't we? I don't hate it as much as I could. Is it my least favorite planet in the game? It's probably my least favorite planet in the game. I think it's my least favorite planet in the game. It's not great. It's definitely not. That first visit with Clank is... I don't feel as strongly about it as I have seen some people feel about it online. I do, like... It's a neat change of pace. It's kind of a slog, I think, is the thing. It takes a long time. It's a lot slower. It's a huge break from the usual pace of the game. But I don't like necessarily hate it for that. That being said, I don't really like it either. Flank sections in these games run into the issue a lot where, especially in a game where you're motivated to play through it multiple times, when you're playing as Ratchet and you're going through in challenge mode, you're collecting bolts, or in later games, you're leveling up weapons, and, you know, you're doing all of these Ratchet-centric things, and Clank sections have an interesting way of becoming just a thing that you have to get through as fast as possible to continue playing the actual game. And Orxon is a huge just version of that. When you come back as Ratchet, it's much better. It's also like really Orxon's a tough planet, I think, too, even as Ratchet. It is home to one of my favorite gold bolts in the series. It was like a white whale of mine when I was younger, where you have to guide the Visibomb through the tunnel and blow up the subsequent walls. And I think that saves it from being a D tier, but I do think that means that it lives in C tier. I don't... It's one of these two. I'm trying not to be too rude to Orxon, because I acknowledge its merits. But it's... we'll leave it in C for now. We'll leave it there. Play the clip.
Resort, Pokitaru.
So, Jawai Resort, Pokitaru. It's beautiful. It's very pretty. I am not sure I really like it that much. I used to be, actually, little fun fact, I've discussed on this channel before, but I used to hate the ocean, water in general. I still am not a huge fan of it, but like Pokitaru used to literally scare me, like especially going underwater to break the crates and everything once you have the O2 mask. I did not like it. I was not a fan of it at all. But I don't know that that necessarily weighs into how I feel about it in the present day. How I feel about it in the present day is that the Puffoids are annoying, and I hate them. But it's a really pretty place, and it's, you know, you get the thruster pack. That's cool. The music is a little reprise of Veldon's track, which is so neat. I don't think I like it enough to put it in A tier, but I also don't think I dislike it enough to put it down with Orxon. In fact, I kind of am inclined to put Orxon into D tier just because of the way that this scales the tier list looking at it, because when I'm looking at Orxon, I don't know that I would put a single other planet on the same level of Orxon as far as, like, I don't really like it here. So I think I am going to bump Orxon down to D, just because it kind of lives within its own space. Hoven, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I, like, forget this planet exists most playthroughs, which I don't know how. I love snow planets. I love the snow. I love the cold. I love ice and all of those things. But somehow it just escapes my mind, like, every time. I am inclined to say it's because, like, you get an info bot from it, of course. You get an info bot too, my favorite planet in the game, spoiler alert. But but like the alternative paths on Hoven are very, like, you get the Hydro Pack, right? And the Hydro Pack is kind of like, it's okay. It's not something that you, like, need. And it's also something that's very easy to forget that you have. And you also get the Raritanium, which you can bring back to Pokitaru for the Persuader. I forgot to mention entirely. Which is also, like, it's just a planet full of a lot of, like, The turret section is okay. It's pretty, and it's just kind of all right. You know, that's the space that it occupies in my mind. The music is also like nice. I can't think of it in my head right now, which is honestly a bad sign and probably indicates that it's also just sort of like it's good, but it's not. You know, it's like it's okay. I think Hoven is a C tier. That's kind of one of the big reasons that I bumped Orxon down, because I was like, I don't think Hoven is going with all of the rest of these, but I also don't think it belongs with Orxon. Ultanis Orbit, we're not even playing games. S tier. Boom. Play the noise. Do the opening. Show that screen. It's good. Good. Everything about it. The energy of this level is insane. There's not a single other level in the game, or honestly, possibly in the series, that makes you feel this way. When you open it up, when you land and when touch down. Actually, I'm not gonna go that far. There are other exceptionally good planets, especially in like a crack in time. And I point off screen like a crack in time is like waiting over my shoulder, but there are great planets in the series, but Ultanis, Gemlik base is just so good. And it's got the little like force field towers that you have to take down with the Devastator and the Visibomb that are so, I think that's a very fun mechanic. I think that's very unique. It's got my single favorite gold bolt like to acquire in the whole entire game. The one that you have to like navigate a Visibomb out and careen it through a tunnel to blow up a force field tower that's like obtusely out of range. It's just so, it's so creative in its layout, and I really do love it for that. It's not just aesthetic, it's not just the music, it's like it's everything about Gemlik base. This is the gold Tesla claw of this tier list. If there was something that I was creating an extra tier above S for, it would be this one. I love it so much, genuinely adore it. Ultanis itself, entirely opposite direction. Despite the orbit of Ultanis being as cool as it is, Ultanis, I don't like being there. You don't have Clank. That's the big one. That's kind of it. That's the thing, right? Like, it really makes you realize how much of a difference Clank makes. The game's called Ratchet and Clank. It's funny to think about, imagine. But like, I appreciate that as a mechanic. It's a unique thing, it's a clever thing, yes. I'm not like dogging on that concept, but I just don't like being without Clank. Like, the experience is not good. And that's by design, I think. You're meant to feel limited and inhibited, but I don't like that. It is unpleasant, right? So I'm gonna slot that in with Hoven. It's a really cool like planet aesthetically, especially all the burning buildings and everything. Honestly, if it wasn't so visually pleasing, it probably would be down there with Orxon. Because it's just kind of like, ooh. Portu is an interesting one. I think it has appreciable qualities, especially because of like it's the like home planet. It's like the factory of all the, you know, apologies, the hiccups are out to get me. It's like the place where, like, you know, the robot factory for Drex warbots and stuff, right? That's cool. That's neat. Also, the like funky, groovy spy music kind of rocks. And also the introduction of Giant Clank. I did kind of sleep on that. That is where we first get to see Giant Clank for the first time in the series. That's kind of cool. I do love that, actually. I just don't really, I don't really know that I have a ton of fun there. Especially like the first visit to Core 2, it feels like you're there for literally like 3 minutes. It feels like you show up and just immediately leave. And that kind of throws like throws a wrench into some things. It throws a wrench into like the energy around the planet. Is that 3 C tiers in a row? No, because we broke it up with Voltanis Orbit. But I do think that also lands in C tier. I do think that I'm just kind of like not terribly fond of Core 2. If we were judging it purely based off of music, it would go much higher than that, I think. But next tier list, a new tier list idea is Ratchet and Clank Original Trilogy music tier list. You know, we do love David. Oh God, his name is French, isn't it? I'm gonna butcher it. I'm just gonna put it up on screen. But we do love what he does. He does fantastic work. Kalibo 3 or Kalibo the Third, perhaps. I actually really like Kalibo 3. I think Kalibo 3 is a really cool planet. Like seeing the Gadgetron headquarters and like the big Gadgetron logo when you first drop down. It's also really pretty. It's an incredibly just beautiful planet to look at and be on. The music is so fun and like inquisitive and kind of vaguely corporate. The level itself is super fun to play. With the little arena rooms and the test bots and everything. The grind rail section is cool. I enjoy that. I kind of like everything about it, actually. The more I talk about it, the more I was actually pretty certain that I was gonna put this into A tier, but the more that I talk about it, the more that I realize that I really like actually literally everything about it. And the more that I consider that it might be an S tier, actually. that might be. That might be. Yeah. No, I think it's going up here with the likes of Gemlik Base and Gaspar. That is a development that actually has surprised even me. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this. It's so fun to like think about this and vocalize them, because I knew that I liked Kalibo 3. And before we started ranking things, I was like, yeah, it's probably like an A tier planet, but no, I like it a lot more than I gave credit for. Drex Fleet, next up on the list. I like knee-jerk response. It's so cool. Again, the vibe of it. Like the feeling of the level, the atmosphere, super fantastic. Especially the like brief external section where you have to walk onto the hull of the ship, and you know, you walk down and there's like the starboard cannons like firing those giant energy blasts, and you have to go out of your way to get into the fighter and blow them up to progress. That's arguably like the coolest thing that you do in the game. I think that's really sick. I'm not like the biggest fan of the like the whole like the full Hollow Guys section. The Hollow Guys, like in its entirety as a mechanic, is very like, you know, and this is maybe just because I'm, you know, I'm brain rotted, right? But like it's definitely, I am always trying to get through the Hollow Guys sections as fast as I possibly can. And I don't necessarily think that that's a problem with the Hollow Guys. I think that's just due to how I play the game and how I'm like a little rabid gremlin trying to go and do all of the things. But I'm not the biggest fan of some parts of the level, but there are also other parts of the level that are absolutely amazing, and I love the music and the... I was trying to find out, I feel like they reused the music for Drex Fleet at a later point in a later game. I could be wrong about that. I think I tried looking it up and I couldn't figure out if that was true or not, but we'll see as we go through the games, maybe. But yeah, so I think it lands comfortably in A tier along with Nebula G34. Man, it's been a long time since we've had an A tier planet. And the return trip to Veldin is not as fondly looked on in my mind as the first trip to Veldin. It's also cool in its own right. It is very, you know, it's very thrilling and very neat to see the cool, cozy place that you were at the beginning of the game be under siege now. And now that I say that out loud, I kind of do like that a lot, actually. I don't like the music as much. I feel like the Veldin 2 music might be one of my like least favorite tracks in the game. Just as far as like how much I generally enjoy listening to it. It's not, it's kind of like it hits a vibe well, but it's not as much of a, it's not a certified banger to the extent of the rest of them, at least in my opinion. And the level itself is like, it's very extensive. It feels like the final gauntlet before the final boss, before the ultimate showdown, and that's pretty cool. I do like that. I think that that's excellently done. I just don't know if I like it as much as the first trip to Veldin, and I don't know if I like it as much as Novalis or the Blurk Station or Drex Fleet. I feel like this lands in B. That's what I think. I think that's where that goes. So, ta-da! I will switch us back over to our weapons tier list. This is where we wound up. This was the final, that I'm committing to this. There's no take backsies. I'm not going to bump around weapons after we come back later, because I feel like I want them to exist within their own ecosystem, and then we will come back to them and then decide where the new arsenals and planets will land within their own contained experience. And then we'll get to see by the end of it how, like, basically I think it'll be fun to look at what an S tier that we had from Ratchet and Clank 1 and where we thought something was to land in S tier will compare to something like 3 games from now that landed in the S tier, and to look at it and be like, wow, that just like rips rooms apart when you think about pulling the trigger. And then that's up there with the likes of the Gold Blaster. So this is it. This is the final layout. This is where it will remain. And as for the planets, this is it. The planets are honestly drastically more heavily weighted towards the top than even the weapons, I think. Maybe not, actually. But so that's that. This went on for a little. I think I'm discovering that I do love yapping, because this did go on for a little bit. But I mean, we had 25 weapons, 19 planets. Regardless of how long this has gone on, I don't know how much it's going to edit down into, but I do hope that you had a good time sitting in with me. I know this is not our usual thing. We're not even playing a game. We're talking about a game. But all the more reason for me to say thanks for sticking around and making it to the end. Because if you sat around listening to me just yap about a game for like 45 minutes, you're awesome, and I appreciate you. That's really cool of you. You are precisely the reason why I'm sat down here deciding to yap about a game. So, again, I hope you enjoyed your time here with me. And, I mean, it'll be a good while before I see you with another one of these. I would speculate at least a couple months, because we will be back to this very tier list and that very tier list once we finish Ratchet and Clank 2, Going Commando. Because we will have a lot more weapons to throw on the list. And I'm really curious to see about that one, because I have a lot of like deeply seated opinions to work through, and I'm curious to see where they will land in a clarified list when we get there. But for now, I will leave you off and wish you a most lovely morning, afternoon, or evening. And I truly do hope that you are taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated out there. It's hot today. It's a hot one today. So I pray that you are not suffering in the same ways that I am. And I will see you next time. Love you. Deuces.